Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today? Late night recording, because we had a D&D session today. A pretty big one, like quite a doozy of a session, I think, lore-wise. It's, what can I say about it? I suppose it's had some pretty big, I'm not sure if it was quite lore revelations, but background kind of like lore revelations. But good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 11:39 p.m. on Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. I don't know why I said maybe lore revelations. It very much is lore revelations now I think about it. There's a lot of things which ended up being revealed, which are very, very spooky, can we say, for one character's like story arc. But I don't know, like, what else to say. Like, it was basically like back to back to back. At least from my perspective, being like, damn, these are things which I've been building up for. Like, some of these things had been like in the campaign since the very beginning, and now they know about it, and it's like, whoa, can't believe it's finally happening. So yes, it could be some very, very big scary times for one of the character's arcs who it specifically pertains to, and it's also a thing which has been modified a little bit. Not modified, that's not the right word, but it's like my initial expectation of what this conversation was going to be like would be different, because it basically pertains to the organization they're investigating. At this point, I think this was meant to be the big reveal of how evil, I suppose, the organization is, or what sort of things they are up to, which are very, very scary. But they were not meant to know. They were not meant to know that they've already met the organization at this point yet. But now they have, and it's just been sort of back to back to back to back. This was like a reveal. This was a reveal. This was a real reveal, and it's certainly a lot of information that I think we have to take in. But I also hope it's a sort of a, what's a word? Like a nice release as well, being like, whoa, that makes sense. Like, oh, so that's why that was that way, hopefully. Certainly it was a lot for me as a DM to just be sitting on that, just trying to figure out when's the best time this should get revealed. And as it happens, all gets revealed now. Part of a reveal was obviously just like a natural progression, because they've investigated so much that they start hearing about the things, and part of the reveal was actually from like a very interesting play that they did, which I did not consider, and then I was like, oh, okay, yes, that is, that's absolutely true. I did not think about the fact that you could do that, and then I had to think, how would this be? And another reveal was like tied into that. It's crazy. What can I say? Crazy stuff. In a good way, I think. Hopefully. So I don't know, maybe now I would consider it the midpoint of Act 2 or something, being like, oh, everything's building up, boom, this is the moment. So I think both campaigns are past the midpoint of the Act 2 now, and now it's sort of like they've got the story, or like a pretty good idea of a story, or like they've got all the information. Now it's about executing things. How's it going to happen? I genuinely have no clue. That is now up to them for what they want to do. I just, as a DM, need to be able to facilitate what should be possible, and then deny what is not, essentially. It's sort of like I brought them to the top of a hill, and now I've given them a stead, and it's like, all right, let's see what happens. And now I'm just in the backseat as well, with the emergency brake. That's a bit of a weird metaphor, but I don't know what else to say. Yeah, what should we talk about? Great question. Don't know. Hooked on a feeling. Now okay. What are we gonna talk about? I'm not really sure at the moment. Like what I can talk about. Let's see. Gaming sphere. Anything going on? No. You know what I was going to do? I was going to pick up the game Blueprints. I think it would make a great stream game. I know I haven't streamed as well for ages. Not so much intentionally so. It's more so just like a few other times I just like honestly really didn't feel up for streaming. Not that I dislike streaming, but just like on that day it was just like, oh, there's a lot going on. Things have been super busy for me at the moment, makes it really difficult to do it at the same time, so I do apologize. I might have a stream tomorrow for just like 2 hours or so and just do a bit of drawing. But Blueprints could be a really fun game, I think, to play on stream. Either that or Hello Kitty's Island Adventure. We'll have to see. Because I have been meaning to pick it up. It's a game which has been recommended to me now numerous times by numerous different people. That it would be like, oh, this seems like a game you would really like. You should like consider getting it. And I was like, okay, fine. I was considering it because I was like, this does seem like a game I might quite like. But I was like, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. And then like so many people have told me you would probably like this game. So I'm like, okay, I'll get this game. You've convinced me. What else is there to do? But yeah, that obviously has not yet happened. So who knows when exactly that will happen. But what can we talk about? Again, I'm not really sure. I'm sort of looking at the games, just being like, what should I talk about in general? Nothing really comes to mind. I haven't played much more of Wuthering Waves, if that's what you're curious about. I played a bit more. I'm progressing with a story. I'm trying to get a good balance between playing both Wuthering Waves and the Honkai Star Rail story quest, because they're both things which are going on. Now the new Zenderstone Zero patch has come out as well, that's another thing which I need to start like working my way through. Again, I just haven't had as much time as I'd like to be able to play all of these things, so I've been playing catch up if anything to the games that I want to play. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I feel like there's, you know, we're not in a quiet moment at the moment. We're quiet moment for discussing things. Oh, you know what I was meant to do? I was meant to talk about Little Gator Game today because I beat it. I recorded the last episode of Little Gator Game. I don't know why I say it with such an American accent. Of Little Gator Game. Yesterday. So that'll be going up on the 1st of May. There's only 3 more episodes left. Which means I do need to draw the thumbnail out for the next series. I know what the next series is going to be. I've chosen it already. And it's not going to be as difficult as some of the other splash arts, I'm pretty sure. Mainly because you can't see as much in the splash art. Or it's like, I should say it's quite zoomed in, to be honest, and it's quite a minimalist background. I think, if anything, the hardest part is definitely going to be the texture and the sort of artistic aesthetic effect on it. But yeah, hopefully, I hope that didn't play out loud, did it? Let's see. Okay, I don't think so. Because I opened up the Steam page just to double check, and I saw there was a live stream, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't have my headphones on, so I don't know if that live stream just played out loud or not. Doesn't seem like it did, so phew. So I guess I'll talk about Little Gator Game tomorrow. I don't know what's going on with my accent. Why am I just like changing it here and there? What should we talk about? Let's talk about something random. I guess because we have 10 minutes left. Why don't we talk about, I was going to say swings. I don't know why swings came to mind. I mean, I can talk about swings as well, because we also, like playground swings is what came to mind. I used to have a swing growing up as a child in our back garden. We like when the house I remember most fondly of my childhood house while growing up, it had an amazing garden. It was like a multi-tiered garden, which you might be like, whoa, how rich were you? It was not like actually that. Like, it's not probably to the extent you're thinking. It's more like there were stairs up to the actual garden. I did live like kind of in the countryside-ish, and then there were stairs up to like another tier and then another tier essentially, which again was crazy, but those tiers weren't super big. But like the way I talk about it, you might think it would be absolutely crazy, because we had like a mini playground as one of the things in on one of the tiers. It was basically the size of a small room, and it had like the elephant slide on it, not on it, in it. What else did it have? It didn't have a swing there. The swing for some reason was in a separate area, and I think it came with the house, if I recall. Like when my parents bought it, that was just a part of a house, and you know, cool, certainly. But yeah, I spent a lot of time swinging on that swing. It was very far, because I remember it being like right at the top of the garden, and of course I was quite young when I lived there, so I'm sure that in my mind the garden tiers were huge, but they probably were like really, really small. It probably wasn't like much. If anything, it was probably we just had a garden which was uphill essentially, and they just cut it into tiers essentially, so it wouldn't be an absolute nightmare of a garden where you couldn't really do anything. But I remember it being so high up there, just like basically having a swing at the top of a mountain, and it wasn't like a what becomes of Edith Finch scenario, all things considered, but it was just like, I don't know, it was a very sort of cheap plastic swing, but it's something which I'm sure if I saw it again would be very, very like fond in my mind, as it's like, oh, you know, I remember it so well. And honestly, I very much appreciated having that swing there and being able to, well, swing on it. You know, when it came to like going to the playground and swinging with friends or whatever, it meant I wasn't an absolute scrub. I knew how to do the swing. You know, you pull your legs back and you kick your legs forward as you go forward. Well, back as you go backwards and forward as you go forward, which I've never really thought about why that necessarily works. I assume it's to do about changing your centre of mass. So, does that make sense? Because if you go forward, yeah, it'd be like changing your centre of mass forward, because you do it at the peak of your swing, and that will make it accelerate towards the centre of the pivot, right? So I guess it's more to do with moment of inertia maybe than centre of mass, which I mean, I guess I kind of like sort of hand in hand. But basically, because the centre of mass is away from the swing base, which is kind of like, not the pivot point, but I guess it's the pivot point of your body, but it means that you accelerate. There is a force. Does that make sense? Downwards? I haven't really thought about it. I feel like I know in my mind how it works intuitively. I feel like anyone who's swung on a swing before can intuitively figure out how it works. It's sort of just like, yeah, you go that way because it makes you go faster in that direction, or you accelerate in that direction, but it's hard to say exactly how in a physics sense. You need like a force diagram here. Why kick legs while swinging? How does pumping your legs push a swing? Shifting your centre of mass, that might play a small role. What you're actually doing is imparting angular momentum. That's exactly what I tried to say. Except what I said, moment of inertia, right? But it's not exactly the reason I thought. Moment of inertia, by the way, is like the mass equivalent for angular momentum. The idea of shifting your centre of mass seems legit if you only think about extending your legs forward, but you can swing even better when you extend your legs forward and you lean your upper body backwards. That's actually really true. The latter of which is negating a forward shift in centre of mass, but both actions are imparting angular momentum in the same rotational direction. Oh, okay. So it's nothing, I mean, it might play some role, centre of mass. It's not actually the reason I thought it was. It was to do because you're twisting your body in the direction you're swinging and imparting angular momentum. But what an interesting explanation. Physics of a swing is actually quite complex despite how simple it looks. Describe it analytically. So of course I'm not like ashamed of the fact that I can't describe this analytically. One interesting, I never really considered that it was because you're rotating in the direction that you are swinging, essentially. But it is very true. Like if you've ever been on a swing, you probably know that, like, yeah, leaning backwards as you pump your legs forward, that makes you go swing forward even faster. And then you lean forwards on the like straps or whatever as you kick your legs backwards to go backwards faster. And you had to do it with a sense of timing, otherwise it doesn't actually work, you know. You need to make sure that everything sort of pumps with the right, I'm not sure energy is the right word, but with the right, at the peak of the thing, so you don't end up cancelling any of the momentum you've carried with you, I guess. Well, that's so cool. I would say we're very much running out of space on the thumbnail for the doodle. I'm going to put angular momentum as the tag here, so I'm doing a thumbnail at the same time, if it wasn't obvious enough. Momentum. Beautiful. Very cool. You know, physics can be absolutely fascinating. With how things work, how things get explained, you know? It's very, very cool to see how things sort of come about. I can't believe it. Angular momentum. Can't believe I never even thought about that. That's just how it goes. Physics, so incredibly fascinating. Anyway, I might just round this episode off here. I know it's going to be a bit of a shorter episode. I'm going to be honest, I don't have a creative conversational juices in me today compared to usual. But yeah, swinging. On a swing. Playground, I'm going to call it playground swing. Let's be careful here. But angular momentum. It makes so much more sense, I think, now I think about it. They linked a video as well explaining it, so I guess I got to go watch that video now. And then we can all become a little bit more enlightened. Anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been dear darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.